Well, hi everyone and a warm welcome back. Today's video is going to be the removal of the rear strut on the 3000 GT, GTO, VR4, etc. Now, there are a number of different struts used on these cars. Today I'm going to be showing you the non-ECS and the ECS version on the same car. I've deliberately put one of each on the car so you can see the difference. The process for removing the strut is the same for all models. Now, a couple of quick things. During removal of the strut, we are going to be jacking up the car. For those of you that have seen my videos before, you will know that I do not do health and safety advice. It's down to you to properly and safely jack your car and put in the relevant protection to stop it falling on top of you. Another quick tip. This is not a particularly difficult job, and those of you that have done it yourself in the past will know just how easy it is. The reason I'm doing this on video is that not all of my viewers are competent mechanics. Some people are looking to start to do their own repairs, but they're not too sure what's involved in the job. So this will enable you to see just how easy this job is and that it's something that you can do from home. And finally, there is a problem that's coming quite common now on these struts. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a metal insert in the middle, then you have a rubber bush, and then the main strut itself. It's getting quite common now for this metal insert to become seized onto the main frame of the car. That is a problem, because when you try to remove the strut, what is often happening now is the rubber is tearing and you're being left with this part on the car, and it's very difficult to remove. So when we look at the car in a second, I'm going to give you a few tips to hopefully avoid that problem. Now, removal of the strut, as I said, is a very easy process. You're only going to need a couple of tools for this job other than your jack and axle stands or whatever you choose to use to jack it up. Those tools are going to be a Phillips screwdriver, a what size is this? 1/2 inch wrench with a 14mm and a 17mm socket piece to go on the end. You shouldn't need any extension bars. However, the bolt that goes through the middle here is usually extremely tightly seized on, so you may need a breaker bar to undo that particular bolt. Right, I think that's about it. Let's go and have a look at the car. So today we're going to be completing this job on this car. Now, those of you that are a member of my forum will know that this car used to belong to Michelle. She's had a little knock in it. She sold it to me quite cheaply so that we can use it for videos for you guys to watch. Now, the car is a complete write-off and it's staying on this trailer until it goes to the junkyard. But before it goes to the junkyard, it's going to be fully stripped. It's presently sitting on some blocks, and that's where it'll stay for the remainder of all the videos that we're going to do on it. So don't look at this and say that's the way you need to do it. How you choose to jack it is entirely up to you. You do need to remove the rear wheel of the side that you're working on, and I'd recommend that you remove both wheels, or at least jack the car fully off the ground rather than only jack the one wheel. This way the car will sit so that the suspension is fully extended, and it will make the job so much easier for you. If you have the other side on the ground, it's also going to force up this side with it and put tension on it. So make sure both wheels are off the ground and just remove the tyre or the wheel on the side that you're going to be working on. So just here is your strut. This is what we're looking at removing today. It's a very simple job. Now, my number one tip with these, as I said, is they're now getting seized onto the car itself. So I would strongly recommend, if you can, take your car off the road a day or two before you're going to be doing this job and absolutely saturate this area down here with penetrating oil as much as you can. So hopefully when we come to remove the strut, it will come off easy. Now, I know this side is going to come off. This is not the original strut. I've put on an ECS strut on this side, even though it's not an ECS car, just so you can see the difference between the two types of strut at the top. So to start off with, we're going to grab a 17mm socket on our wrench, and we are going to undo a bolt which is round the back here. Now usually these can be really tight, so you may need a breaker bar, but this one shouldn't be too tight, and they're not always tight. It's just a beware, especially if you're in one of those damp climates. These things rust on terribly. So that's our bolt out, and that's pretty much all you need to undo underneath here. Now we'll go round to the interior of the car. Now if you have a quick look around on the interior here, you're going to see it's looking a bit sorry for itself. Before Michelle sold it to me, she did strip out quite a few bits that she wanted to keep, and in addition to that I've had a few bits out as well, so it's now looking a bit sad. But the thing is, what we need to actually film here is still in place, so what you're going to see is exactly as it will be in your car. You will need to remove your parcel shelf, which just unclips. You're all going to know about that already, so we don't need to mess around with that today. Then you're going to need your Phillips screwdriver. First thing we need to do is remove the parcel shelf bracket. That's a simple screw just in here. And Mitsubishi have actually made this job quite easy for us. There's no massive amount of work to be done. Now we have two screws here. This will now come out just by pushing the seat forward slightly. It will lift out easy on one end and slide out on the other via this little hook. And now you have access to the top of the strut. Now you'll see the one I've fitted on this side is the ECS type, which has wires coming out of it. The one on the other side, if the camera can quickly turn round, has no wires. So if you notice yours doesn't have any wires, don't panic, it means you've got the non-ECS type. So next thing we've got to do is undo the two nuts, one on each side. But before we do that, I'm just going to disconnect the cables. A word of warning, these cables are now becoming very brittle for some reason, and a lot of you that are having ECS faults with the ECS lights flashing may well have a problem where one of the cables is broken. So handle these very carefully when you come to take it apart. The rubber cover just simply lifts off. It's the same for ECS and non-ECS. It literally is just pushed on. Gently work it out. It's quite a soft rubber and it will come off quite easy. Like so. This exposes your connector to the top of the ECS strut. It's got a tab that you can see there, and there is one on the other side. You press in the two tabs and then just simply unplug it. That can now sit out of the way like so. Now we've got two bolts here, or two nuts I should say. Do not under any circumstances do the middle nut in the center of the strut. So for these two, one here and one here, 14mm wrench. It's just enough gap to get that in there. No, not quite strong enough. I need to get back in the gym. Now be careful with this plastic. There's a lot of really sharp edges on that and you're going to cut your fingers if you're not too careful. So that's one on the other side. Oh, come on. Yeah, for those of you that are old enough to remember John McEnroe, I think this is the point where he would say, "You cannot be serious." There we go. Okay, 2 nuts off, remove the cable completely. Now we're back around this side. As in, okay, so now for the final part. The strut is now completely disconnected. If you're in a nice dry area, you'll find this bit really easily. If you're in a damp area and it's rusted, this is going to be a little bit harder. But generally at this point, you just press the bottom out while holding on to the strut. Don't let it drop. And then slide it out like that. What a dream that was. Now, those of you that have tried this in the past, I'm sure you're going to say, "Oh my God, I wish mine come out that easy." They're not always that easy. They do often rust on. And if that's the case, I'm afraid it's a case of getting a pry bar in there, working it bit by bit. Just make sure you don't strip the rubber from the metal insert and damage the strut, not unless you're going to throw it away anyway. So that's how you get the strut off. If you've been thinking of doing that job yourself, it isn't a big job. It's something you can do at home quite easily. Just make sure your car's safe and doesn't drop on you. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching as always. Don't forget we do have a forum that complements this channel. You're able to contact me through the forum, not through YouTube. And ask questions and hopefully get the answers from me or one of the many really nice people that are on the forum now. You can also request a video through the forum. There is a section in there for requesting a video, and chat to other people with cars the same as you, get ideas and tips and, well, anything you want really. There's also now a Patreon site set up if you'd like to contribute a little bit towards the running of the channel. You're not obliged to. All of the videos will remain free, but if you feel that you would like, thank you. If you would like to make a small donation to help towards the running of the channel, I would be very grateful. So for now, thanks for watching, have a good day, and I'll see you soon.